All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that could totally flip the script on how you see, well, everything. Yourself, the universe, all of it. What if your DNA is actually a cosmic antenna?
You know those moments, maybe late at night when everything's quiet? Have you ever just stopped and asked yourself, who am I? Seriously. It's probably the oldest question we've ever asked.
And that question, it always leads to another one, right? Like, am I really just this body I see in the mirror? Or is that just the tip of the iceberg? What if there's something way, way more hidden deep inside?
Okay, so that's exactly where we're headed. We're going to look at our DNA, the very code that makes us who we are, but in a way you've probably never heard before. So we all learned in school, right? Our bodies are made of trillions of cells, and each one has our DNA inside. But what if it's not just a blueprint for our bodies? What if it's more like a living, breathing system, one that's constantly talking to the universe?
Yep, you heard that right. This is the big idea. Your DNA is a living antenna. It's built to pick up on frequencies from the cosmos that we can't see or hear. It's literally designed to plug you into something huge, something way bigger than just you.
Okay, but wait a second. If we've got this amazing power hardwired into us, then why do we feel so limited, so disconnected and small most of the time? It doesn't add up, right? Well, the answer apparently lies in these massive, ancient cycles of time.
So let's talk about these lost powers. Let's dig into how we, as a species, might have forgotten who we really are.
All right, check this out. This is based on ancient Vedic teachings. The idea is that our solar system is on this massive 24,000-year trip around a galactic center. So when we're in a high-energy zone, the Golden Age or Satyug, our DNA is supposedly fully switched on. We're totally connected. But as we drift further away through the other ages, the Treta, Dwapara, and then where we are now, the Kalyug, that connection gets weaker and weaker. Our DNA basically starts to power down.
And that brings us right here to today. We're living in an age where our DNA, for all intents and purposes, has fallen into a deep, deep sleep.
And what's really interesting is that modern science kind of has its own version of this. Scientists look at our genetic code and say that a whopping 90% of it doesn't seem to do anything. They literally call it junk DNA. Isn't that wild? 90% of our code is just sitting there?
But, and this is a big but, the viewpoint we're looking at today says no way. It's not junk, not even close. It's your sleeping powers. It's all your untapped potential, just waiting for the right signal, the right vibration, to wake up. So what's keeping it asleep? Well, if you look around, it's pretty much everything about modern life. Our crazy lifestyles, all the artificial frequencies we're swimming in 24/7, the constant stress, and the fact that we're so cut off from nature, all of it is basically holding our DNA in this dormant state. But look, this isn't all bad news. It's actually a story of hope. Because the ancient sages who understood all of this, they didn't just leave us with the problem. They left us with a key, a kind of science for waking up. And that key is all about mantras. Now, before you tune out, we're not talking about superstition here. We're talking about mantras as a precise sound science. The core idea is that sound, vibration, is the most fundamental force in the entire universe. So how does it actually work? Well, it's kind of like a three-step process. You start with these specific seed mantras. They're called bij mantras, which are basically pure, precise sound frequencies. Then, and this is the cool part, those sounds resonate with your DNA. Think of it like a tuning fork making a piano string vibrate without even touching it. And finally, that resonance is what can start to wake up that so-called junk DNA. And that brings us right back to our antenna metaphor. Your body literally becomes a receiver again. You're not a radio that's turned off anymore. You're actively tuning back into those cosmic frequencies we lost so long ago. You're waking up. All right, so let's bring this all together. What does this mean for the future? Well, it all points towards a prophesied new age, a huge shift in consciousness for everyone. Remember that big 24,000-year cycle we talked about? Well, guess what? The wheel is turning. We're supposedly at a major turning point right now where that cosmic energy is on the rise again. A massive shift is already happening. In fact, this framework gets super specific. It points to the year 2026 as a major signpost, a key marker for a huge change in consciousness.
The idea is that as these cosmic energies ramp up, our DNA is naturally getting ready to power back on.
And really, that's the whole point of all this. It's about completely changing how we see ourselves. You've got to get this. You are not just a body. You are pure energy. You are consciousness. And at your very core, you are infinite.
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? It's an invitation. The time is now. You have the chance to change your frequency, to remember what you really are. So maybe the question isn't, who am I anymore? Maybe the real question is, will I choose to awaken?